I can go back in time and erase it. Fighting demons, fighting cases, living through the walls of trials and tribulation.
Go deep.
Ho ho hey, Merry Christmas everybody. So let me just get right to it and fill you in on what just happened like tonight in real time. I'm driving, minding my business, tire blown out. And my first thought is, all right, I can handle this. Changed many a tire in my day. Do the responsible grown man thing, pull the car over, try to hit it with the air gun I got in my car. See if it'll take some air. No cigar. Trying not to sweat the small stuff, I'm calm. I got this. Funny. If you want to hear God laugh, tell him your plans. Because here I am thinking I'm about to knock a million things out, with 3 days before Christmas. And I go to remove the final lug nut, and the final lug nut is stripped. Stripped, I said. So now I'm standing there, somewhat dejected and defeated. And in reality, I'm just absolutely screwed. Or lug nutted, rather. So I had to get it towed. Like, what an inconvenience. 3 days before Christmas, when there's already so much to do this time of year. You see me looking up like, really, bro? Right now? As I'm packing, getting ready to leave on a 10-day hiatus? Perfect. Just what the doctor ordered. It could be worse, guys. It could always be worse. So right now, my car is sitting at Luke's Auto. I got it towed there. And if they can't get it fixed quickly tomorrow, well then, cool. I'll just be going home on the 26th. I mean, you know, whenever you got a zig, you zag. Whenever you got a zag, you zig. It's easy. I'm still trying to accomplish everything that I'm supposed to get done, which I'll fill you in on that this episode. But if not, it looks like Christmas Eve might be canceled tomorrow. I'm sure it's possible I could hitch a ride back to the valley with someone. Hell, this podcast is sort of a PSA for that. Anybody I know going that way? But oddly enough, this isn't my first Christmas tire story. When I was 17 for Christmas, my dad John and my mom Dina gifted me a 1994 Buick LeSabre. I would go on to make many memories in that car. But I remember that day I wanted to take it somewhere. That's all I wanted to do that day was take that car somewhere. And the only thing open on Christmas was Sheetz. It was in Wheeling, North Wheeling. 17, feeling like the man just got his very first car, cruising to Sheetz, and life hits me with the same exact energy. You got plans, Dean? Think you're a big shot? No, you don't. Flat tire, whole vibe ruined, same lesson. And if I recall correctly, my good friend Noah Kritz was either with me or came to my rescue that day. And I'm sure he probably remembers it. And while I was sitting there today waiting on the tow truck, I'm thinking, I'm 33 now. And God is still teaching me in the exact same ways sometimes. Which is exactly the perfect setup for today. Because it's Christmas. And Christmas is all about Christ. This podcast has layers to it. And apparently, even in a blown tire, there are layers. Let's dive in. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to As Deep as It Gets. It's your boy Dean, and we're doing a Christmas solo episode. If you're new here, this isn't the podcast where we pretend everything is fine. We talk about what's really happening in our heads, in our hearts, and in our lives. We keep it real, and we try to keep it honest in the process. And I want this one to feel like a gift to y'all. Because y'all have been a gift to me this latter part of the year. You have no clue how much your support has helped me in the process of continuing to push content and do this thing, even though there's still a ton of room left for me to improve. Holidays can be beautiful, but they can also be heavy as hell at times. There's a lot going on and a lot of demands from a lot of different people. And a lot of layers to that. So today the setup is simple. The word of the day is depth. More so, depth as it pertains to me and this podcast. We're going to do a little bit of a peeling back the onion so you can maybe try to better understand why I'm doing this. We'll have the hits deep segment, the stuff I've been paying attention to now that I think should be on your radar. And then we'll talk about some things that are upcoming. You know, I'm making a trip to Florida, upcoming guests, all that. For those of you waiting for another Top 100 memory, I promise one will be featured in the next solo episode, so stay tuned. All right, let's get into it. The word of the day is depth. And since it's Christmas, I feel like it's a crazy time of year. And when people see me, they kind of assume one thing. They assume I'm crazy, out there, loud, maybe a bit of a loose cannon, has a podcast, says what's on his mind. They see the jokes, they see the energy, they see the, what's good, big dog? They see that type of stuff. But there really are deep layers to me. And if you're anything like me, that part can still feel sort of lonely sometimes. Because when you have depth, you don't just want to talk about what happened. You want to talk about what it meant. You want to talk about why it keeps happening. You want to talk about what it did to you. And I think a lot of people from our area, the Ohio Valley, the small towns, the working class people, we don't always really get a space to do that. You work, you grind, you drink it off, you joke it off, you move the fuck on. But I myself don't want to move on from everything. Some things are worth actually understanding and thinking about. So if we're talking about depth, let me tell you what my layers are as a human being. I'm the dude who turns a normal night into a story. I create moments. I don't just hang out. We're going to ask any of my friends. Do it whenever I go to a bar or do like rare occasion nowadays. But if I do get out and I go have a beer, am I sitting there in the corner just staring at people? Not really my style. I'm either on the dance floor, I'm throwing darts, asking someone what their profession is. I'm trying to get in a deep conversation with someone. That's sort of my MO. I'm fun as hell, I like to think. I'm a connector. My crew, traditions, late night missions, shared chaos. So many of my best memories with my friends that will be featured in the Top 100, it's not even about what we did. It's who we were together while we did it. And I'm not saying that like, hey, look at me, look. It's more like I try to build a world that I want people to be inside of. That's the service. I want people to have fun. But then there's the next layer. There's the middle layer of Dean. I'm loyal, I'm protective, and I'm built for brotherhood. If it's my people, it's my people. I'll go to war for you if you have my back. I will have yours to the ends of the earth. And if you've ever had a friend like that, or I'm your friend, then you know what I mean. I might clown you a little bit during the day, but if anybody outside the circle comes for you, it's war. And that's also why grief hits me so heavy. Because I don't do relationships halfway. I attach, I honor, I carry. Some people lose someone and try to forget. Me, quite the opposite. I keep them alive in my head, in my choices, in the way I move, in the decisions that I make. Because love doesn't just disappear. It turns into weight you learn to carry with pride. And then there's the deepest layer, the one I don't really let anyone see. I'm a feeler who learned to armor up. And I don't mean that in a soft way. I mean that I'm sensitive in a way that's highly intense. I notice tone shifts, silence, disrespect, inconsistency. I notice when somebody's energy changes by 1 degree. It sticks with me. I wonder why. If I'm being honest, a lot of my life, I felt like I was a performing character socially. I would act like maybe someone I wasn't just to fit in or make people laugh. So I got good at being that guy who makes everyone laugh, who will dance, who I learned all the social rules, I just didn't always believe in them. I got really good at being the funny guy, the party guy, the guy who will say what the other guy won't, the guy who will make the rude joke. That's not the whole story, though. And here's the shadow side of having depth to you as a human being. If you don't have a clean channel for that intensity, you'll find a dirty one. Booze, drugs, nicotine, validation, anything that will turn the volume down for a minute. Not because you're weak when you have depth, but because you're high-powered. And high-powered people need direction, or they'll burn the whole damn building down just to feel something. Which brings me to my last layer, the growth layer. I don't just change when it's time. I completely rebuild. I'm an all or nothing type of soul, type of person. A lot of people talk about growth like it's a vibe, sort of like, oh, like that's so holistic. That's so like you're growing. Like, no, for me, it's been a war. Discipline, gym, getting my mind right, not eating carbs, trying to stop running from myself, putting myself out there. And I'll be upfront. This show, me doing this podcast, talking to you right now, this is me learning about myself in real time, in front of you. I'm building my life in front of you. I'm trying to be better. I'm trying to be steady. I'm trying to become the whole guy, all at once. Faith, fitness, family, friends, future, all of it. The whole thing. And it's not like, hey, look at me, look what I'm trying to do. It's a very real showing of what that looks like. And that's sort of the message today, because I think we all have some depth to us. And that's why this podcast is called As Deep as It Gets, because I want to see the depth within people. I like learning about people. I like learning what shaped them because I'm so interested in how I got shaped this way. Depth without direction becomes darkness. You'll overthink, you'll spiral, you'll self-sabotage, you'll chase relief in things that won't necessarily bring you relief. But depth with direction, that becomes purpose. So today at Christmas time, if you're listening and you're feeling heavy, if you're around people but you still feel sort of alone, if you're proud of yourself but somehow really wondering, how am I really doing? If you feel like something's missing or something's blinding you, or is something stopping you from being the person you're supposed to be, I just want to tell you, you're not broken. You might just be deep like me. I've thought all those things. Being deep is a gift if you aim it. So aim it. Tell yourself the truth. Pick one thing you're going to do differently. One habit, one boundary, one conversation, one prayer you want to send up to the big guy. One workout, one step in the right direction. Because being honest with yourself and the truth, that's a door. And the deeper you are willing to go, the stronger you'll become. And that's just the truth. Some verses for today. Deep calleth unto me at the noise of thy waterspouts. All thy waves and thy billows are gone over me. Psalms 42:7. Psalms 130, chapter 130, verse 1. Out of the depths have I cried unto thee, O Lord. Romans 11:33. O the depths of the riches, both of the wisdom and knowledge of God. How unsearchable are his judgment, and his ways past finding out. Those are the verses I found today relating to depth. And I think it's really important that we think about Christ this Christmas season. And if you're struggling with something, I invite you to get yourself saved. Being saved was the best thing that I ever did with my life. And even after I did it as a child, I made sure to redo it again and get back in touch with my salvation at 16 when I was baptized. And I still say to this day, it's God has gotten me through many trials and tribulations. And if you know me at all, then you may have followed along with some of them. And if it weren't for having our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ in my life, I can't say where I'd be. I truly can't. So for my next segment, Hits Deep, let me frame this correctly first. I am not a news source. I'm not telling you this is fact. Go riot, go freak out. None of that. I'm saying, here's what's on my radar and why I think it matters. Because I truly believe a lot of people in the Ohio Valley or elsewhere don't even see some of this stuff. Because I think the algorithms decide what you see, and you really have to be searching for it otherwise. I've been deep diving this kind of stuff for 13 plus years. So consider this a fast track. Here we go.
Teenager, I had like an existential crisis to try to figure out what's the meaning of life. There doesn't seem to be any meaning. For me, at least, the religious texts that I read, all of them that I get my hands on, did not seem convincing. Then I started reading philosophers. Be careful of like reading German philosophers as a teenager. It's definitely not going to help with your depression. So reading Schopenhauer and Nietzsche, like as an adult, it's much more manageable. But as a kid, you're like, whoa. So then I was like, man, I'm just like struggling to find meaning in life here. And then I read Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, and basically what Douglas Adams was saying is that we don't really know what the right questions are to ask. Like the question is not what's the meaning of life. The universe is the answer. What is the question? Or what are the questions? The more we can expand the scope and scale of consciousness, the better we can understand what questions to ask about the answer that is the universe.
So I've been struggling heavily with that question exactly. The whole meaning of the universe. It's quite wild, you know? I mean, I understand who our Lord and Savior is, but there are a lot of coincidental things and a lot of oddities that happen in day-to-day life that make me know that Jesus Christ is very real, but also just I feel like our reality has shifted, and I'm sure you guys have, if you're familiar at all with the Mandela effect and things of that nature, if not, please Google it, Berenstain Bears. I am starting to be on this trek that they're hiding something, and I don't know what. I feel like the government knows something. Time travel, something of those sorts. I haven't figured it all out yet, but I'm going to use this podcast as a means to uncover some stuff. Yeah, we got another one.
Nice green screen, eh? Listen, here's something people do not think about snow, because they're thinking about media, they're thinking about the news, they're thinking about sports. They don't think about this. And it's shocking, really. Entertainment, by the way, is to entrain the mind. It's mind control. It's, if you go to Latin, ment is mind and entertain is to entrain. I'll tell you all about it. But this is what people don't ask. Snow. Why is snow? What is snow? Okay, it's frozen water, yes. But why does it have sacred geometric patterns? Why does it have the Fibonacci sequence? Why? Like, actually, why? Have you thought about this? I don't think you have. Why does snow form perfect? And each one's different. There's no two snowflakes are the same. Do you understand how insane that is? You know how many snowflakes are right here in one hand? The bajillions of them all have a different pattern, but it's all Fibonacci. It's all the Fibonacci sequence. Why? Let me ask you this. Why does this tree have the Fibonacci sequence in its core? Why does its branches have the Fibonacci sequence? It's all fractal, microcosm, macrocosm. This
Signature,
tree,
right?
this tree. Fibonacci sequence. Pipe it down, please. This tree, Fibonacci sequence. And I'll tell you what this means, which no one tells you about, which you never even thought about, because you're too busy thinking about Beyonce. The reason it all is sacred geometry, Fibonacci sequence. It's the fingerprint of a creator. It's the signature in all biological life forms. Your fingers have it, dude. Look, micro, macro, you curl it up. Perfect Fibonacci sequence. Your eyeballs, your hair, the top of your head, little swirl cowlick in the middle of your head. That's the torus field, man. That's the frequency field that emanates all around us. So every tree, every biological thing has this fingerprint in it from a creator, bro, not from an explosion, the big random bang. Boom! The universe created out of nothing. Out of an explosion, rather. Created. We were created, bro. There's a creator who has a fingerprint. Your fingerprints. Your fingerprints are fingerprints of the creator. You never. Someone patented that.
What was that post you made? It said the hundreds of thousands of cells were just mistakes.
Oh, yeah.
You guys really think this is
never think
random?
a car evolved because metal came out of the ground, bounced up against it, and formed a car. Someone designed the car. You have 50 trillion cells in your body. You think
50
you're
trillion.
ooh, a cell, boom. Like, that's not how it happened, bro. It was intelligent design. The world's best camera. It's like 40 megapixels or some shit. It had a designer. Toshiba, Nakamoto, Tsutoshi, whatever. Here we have, that is his name. So listen, our
Your
eyeball,
eye.
if it was a camera, would have like 500 megapixels. Is how good it is. So, random chance? No, you were created, brother. Brother, you were created. There's
You were created, guys. Just so you know. Yeah, I thought that was really good. Just as like the more you think about it, and I always do this with the Big Bang argument, and that's fine. Like, believe what you want to believe. I'm a Christian. I don't care. Like, I will never judge you whether you're a Muslim, whatever you are. This podcast is open to all religions. I happen to be a Christian. But anytime someone comes at me with the Big Bang and the asteroids, and well, there was a Big Bang, immediately I shut that shit down with, well, who created the Big Bang? I mean, well, no, you don't understand. There was this, well, who created that? Come on. It's so easy. That's such an easy one to shut down. I never understood them trying to teach us the Big Bang. I could poke a hole in that from 1,000 miles away. So you're saying an explosion happened. Who created the explosion? It's, oh my.
Like people that want to just see other people be happy.
All right, here's a good Christmas one for us.
You heard about Jesus in Home Alone. The character, like he's in Home Alone. In it, he makes an appearance. Symbolic. Old man Marley is the symbol of Jesus. First time we see the old man, what is he doing? He's salting the sidewalk. He's out serving the people. The second time he shows up is when Kevin's kind of doing this outward talking to himself, almost like a prayer, right? He's saying, I'm not afraid anymore. Who shows up? Old man Marley shows up. He runs away because he's scared. That's rejection number 2. Now, the third time, this is when it gets really good. The third time we see him, the old man shows up in the convenience store when Kevin's trying to ride the toothbrush. He is signaled by a bell, and the bell represents
An angel gets its wings.
so he's been symbolized with heavenly things. The old man shows up, puts his hand on top of the counter. We see a shot through the glass of his palm.
Hold on.
Look at this.
Could this be? Why didn't I see this before? This changes everything.
We see his palm, bloody. Rejection number 3. Now it's becoming almost undeniable who Marley represents. The next time we see him, Kevin is in the church and he sees Old Man Marley. Now, this is so amazing. While the choir is singing Oh Holy Night, they sing, fall on your knees. What does the old man do? He stands up because he is to be worshipped. He is not the worshiper. Then there's a long beat. The choir says, oh, hear the angels' voices. And it's the first time the old man speaks in the film. And he says, Merry Christmas. They have this wonderful conversation that we'll talk about in a minute. But it ends with Old Man Marley shaking Kevin's hand, and we see a tight shot of a Band-Aid on the back of his hand. So now we've seen the front that's been damaged, and we see the back, so we know that he has been pierced through. It's all true. Now fast forward to the end of the movie. Kevin's called the cops.
I'm calling the cops.
He runs into the neighbor's house. He goes down into the basement. Here we see the hero's journey. Kevin is reborn. He literally runs through water and arises up, becoming a new creature. The bad guys catch him, and they hang him. Another symbol. And who saves Kevin? Literally the savior of Kevin. He represents Jesus in Home Alone. Now we go to the very end of the movie. Kevin's looking through the window, through the falling snow, beautiful music, and we see Old Man Marley hugging his son. Earlier, from the conversation at the church, the old man is lamenting. He's saying,
I'm not welcome with my son.
now we have reconciliation with God and his children. That is the Christmas story. And this is one of the many, many reasons, dude, that I just love movies. Symbols and parables hidden in plain sight for all to see. And a filmmaker who uses that power for good, I think it's a beautiful thing. Jack. So what do you think, man?
I mean, I don't know. It's nice, Zane. It is a nice thought.
You heard about
That was funny. I love movies like that will incorporate, different things and different themes, and I especially like the message that one showed during our Christmas season. So thought it best to share. Those are a couple things that were on my radar, so hope you guys enjoyed them. Give me 1 sec here. Figure out how to get this off. There's Cobe. So guys, I hope you guys all like that. This is a little bit fast track. We're going to keep doing the Hit Steep segment. I'm going to keep showing you more and more stuff. The world is getting weirder and weirder, it seems. Don't lose your soul, though, guys. You got AI, deepfake, bots. What's real is getting very blurry. And that's why I myself keep coming back to simple things. Faith, discipline, friendships, community, being outside, moving your body, telling the truth. In this world full of noise, the truth can be quiet at times, and you have to train your ear for it. And that's not always easy. I'm going to be sprinkling in this conspiracy stuff I'm wrestling with, but we're going to do it responsibly. Not like I'm right, you're wrong. More like, here's why I'm curious. Here's what I'm watching. What do you guys think? And that way it's a conversation between us, and we can go back and forth and give our thoughts. I love a good conversation, and even into a debate. And let's just dive right into what's coming up next. Here's a quick life update for y'all, other than, this whole flat tire incident that happened. Going to be headed home for Christmas. And on the 26th, I will be, maybe the 27th, evening of the 26th into the 27th, I'll be driving 16 hours to Florida to see my buddy Nick from episode number 7. Going to do the whole Florida trip thing again, spend some time with him, get his grandma's car down there, and hopefully make a podcast with him, chop it up, talk about some new stuff, play some basketball, hit some golf balls, just enjoy the beach. And whether Luke's Auto holds my car hostage for Christmas or not, I will still make it there. And it's easy to talk about living, but, driving 16 hours to Florida on a whim, that's living. So then we have Frank Manto coming up. He's a podcast guest I'm interviewing this coming week while I'm home for Christmas. We're going to be talking about his snack business, Mill Treats. And I'm trying to keep the schedule moving, more guests, more solos, more real conversations. I'll be taking a little bit of break from the video games. I know you've seen me streaming on there with Mason and Brandon and Melinda, and we're just going to, when we get back from vacation, we're going to keep back on the video game streams. We're going to keep playing Fortnite, some Call of Duty, some stuff like that sporadically. Going to keep making the pods. Also, in breaking news, I also have my first 10-minute stand-up open mic coming up after the first of the year, and I've been preparing my set for it. So we'll be sure to get you all the clips of that when I get up there sometime after the new year. I'm very excited for that. Also, I've been, messing with a little bit of music stuff with Scotty, and I got a rap song I'm working on, and he might be strumming the guitar and making a couple beats along with me. And I want to say this too. This isn't just a podcast for me. This is me building a community where we talk about life like grown men and women without pretending that we don't feel things, because I know you guys feel things. It's so easy to put on a front online and act like the tough guy and act like you have no problems and act like you don't feel anything and act like your life's perfect, because it is, right? Life's perfect for all of us. That's funny. If nobody told you this yet, Merry Christmas. Have a great holiday. I'm glad you're here. I'm proud of you for making it through the year that you just survived. If you're in a season where you're rebuilding, whether that be mentally, financially, spiritually, just remember the rebuild itself is holy. It's not punishment. It's preparation. So do me a favor. This episode hits you. Send it to one person. Leave a comment or a thumbs up. If you like the solo, do just that. Give me a comment. I can feel something happening with the show. I feel like I'm headed in the right direction. I want to take as many of you as I can with me. Get anybody and everybody that I can on the podcast who I think will make good, interesting conversation. And this will be the last time. Well, this will be the last solo. But I'm signing off out of Columbus. And we'll see you back in Columbus after the new year, because my next 2 or 3 podcasts will be on the road. So this is the last time you'll see me in studio till after the new year. Thank you guys so much for all of your support in 2025. I love you all so very much. Merry Christmas, and we'll see you Wednesday.